Hey, good evening. It's Saturday, August 31st, and welcome back to Everyday Talk 24/7. I always say, Lord willing, I'll see you the next day, so I wasn't able to be here yesterday, Friday, but by God's grace, we're here today. I'm going to look at the next portion of Psalm 63 and talk about how this connects to our sleep. And this is an amazing insight into the ability to sleep, rest, and trust God. Remember, David is coming out of this wilderness experience. It's a time when he's in the wilderness. It's not a very comforting place. But he reaches out to God. He says he's thirsting for God. He's parched. His soul is parched. He reaches out for God. And God responds to him because he knows that God is the one who is beautiful. He's looked at his sanctuary. He's seen his power and glory. And verse 3 is really the key. We're going to look at verses 6 and 7 and 8 tonight. But verse 3 is really the key to this. It sets it up for us. Listen to what David says. Your unfailing love is better than life itself. How I praise you. See, I would submit to you, this is an emotional statement. Yes, it's academically true. It is true. I could write it out, give you scripture passages and all that to say, your unfailing love is better than life itself. So I can say it like that. Your unfailing love is better than life itself. That would be an accurate statement, but it doesn't represent the truth of what's there. David is in this tough time, like you and I are in tough times. And in response to that, your unfailing love is better than life itself. That's a statement of deep emotion coming from the heart. Because our emotions reflect what our heart believes. Our emotions are capable of almost unimaginable power. They can spur us to feats of great strength or great fear, depending upon the orientation of our heart. But if we're going to understand what David is saying about sleep here, then this statement, your unfailing love is better than life itself. How I praise you. So that's the setup for these verses 6, 7, and 8. I lie awake thinking of you, meditating on you through the night, because you are my helper. I sing for joy in the shadow of your wings. I cling to you. Your strong right hand holds me securely. I know there are nights when I have trouble going to sleep. And quite often I forget this reality of what's being talked about here. What is David saying? In the midst of his struggles, in the midst of his wilderness experience, I lay awake at night thinking of you, meditating on you throughout the night. Meditating means bringing something over and over and over again, something up over and over and over again. And what is this thing that's driving him? Your unfailing love is better than life itself. See, God is committed to us, to love us and care for us. You know, a psalm that, again, familiar, I've talked about it any number of times. Let me read it for you again, just so we can get the power of what's here. Surely your goodness and unfailing love will pursue me all the days of my life, and I will live in the house of the Lord forever. That's the end of Psalm 23. Surely your goodness and unfailing love will pursue me all the days of my life. Your unfailing love is better than life itself. So he lies awake at night, meditating on that the love of God is pursuing him. This is what emotionally impacts him. It allows him to overcome the emotions of the day. However hard they were, however joyous they were, however devastating that day was. I lie awake thinking of you, meditating on you throughout the night. In verse 7, because you are my helper, I will sing for joy in the shadow of your wings. See, he knows that when he's in his bed at night, with all the crushing realities of life around him, maybe there's great sadness, maybe he's being attacked, maybe he's just having trouble wrestling with his own sin. He knows that he's in the shadow of God's wings. He knows that the unfailing love is pursuing him, this unfailing love which is better than life itself. So then in verse 8, I cling to you. Your strong right hand holds me securely. You get a little bit of the irony there. He's clinging to God. But what matters is not him clinging. It's that God's strong right hand has got a grasp on him. David is secure in the relentless love of God, unfailing love of God, pursuing him. Your strong right hand holds me securely. So he clings to it, but it's God's commitment that keeps him safe. See what we're saying here? If I get it emotionally, that the unfailing love is better than life itself, God's unfailing love, then when I go to bed at night, let my heart and your heart be flooded with this reality. I lie awake thinking of you. Do you lie awake thinking of all the things that could happen? And the idiots and the bad people? And the way you've been mistreated? And the inequities? They may be true. There's a lot of pain in this life. There's a lot of suffering in this life. Some of us experience it more intently than others. But it's there. Do we lie at night thinking about that? Giving that our time at night? What David is saying, I lie awake at night meditating on you, thinking about you because you are my helper. I sing for joy in the shadow of your wings. I am always in the shadow of your wings. I cling to you. Why? Because you hold me securely by your right hand. See what he's saying here? This emotional statement that your unfailing love is better than life itself. He's not just buying it academically. He's wholeheartedly bought in. He believes it. So when he's at bed at night, with all the realities of this life, he's thinking about God and the unfailing love of God, and he just over and over again. He's secure. He's in the shadow of God's wings, and he's held securely by God's right hand. That's what brings you and me peace as we go to bed at night. Next time you're having trouble sleeping, pull out Psalm 63. Look at verses 6 through 7 and 8, 6, 7, and 8, and find the comforts that's there. Find the emotional comfort of knowing that the love of God is better than life itself, because it means we're held securely by the loving right hand of God. And that's my thought for this night. Thank you for being here. Pray you have a good Lord's Day tomorrow, and Lord willing, we'll see you on Monday. Good night.